to episode 18 of the Arctic Knitting Podcast. My name is Emilie, and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Emilie Bjørnå, and you can find my Etsy store by searching for emiliesarcticyarn.etsy.com. And we have a group for this podcast, which is Arctic Knitting Podcast, if you search in the group tabs on Ravelry. So that's the places you can find me. I just have to do that in the beginning or else I forget about it. So it's been a while. It's actually been 4 weeks since the last podcast. As many of you know, if you are a returning viewer, then welcome back. And if you are new, then welcome. I'm so glad to see you. I have a 1-year-old boy. He's actually 14 months now. And he started kindergarten 2 months ago. And as many of you will know, when kids start kindergarten, they get sick. And when the kid gets sick, the mother gets sick. So he has had the RS, I think it's called RS in English as well, RS in Norwegian. It's a virus that stays in the body for quite a while. And he has had a really bad cough, and so have I. You can probably hear still my throat is a little bit sore. And I've been not feeling very good. It seems like I'm getting better, so I hope that's what's going on. I just have to say sorry if there is some weird cutouts in this episode, because I still have a little bit of cough, and also I sneeze a bit and I have a bit of sniffles. I'm hoping that I can edit them out because it's not very pretty to listen to. But yeah, we've been sick. And last week I was feeling okay. I could have podcasted last week, but then I had an exam on Thursday. And normally I do the episodes on Wednesday. And I had an exam on Thursday, and that is in Tromsø, which is about 350 kilometers away, I think. It's about 4-hour drive. So I drove up on Wednesday night, and I just spent the Wednesday day to do the work for my everyday normal merchandising work. I had to work in Thursday and Friday on Wednesday, and then I went to Tromsø on Wednesday and had an exam on Thursday, and yeah, you know, it's just time. But I'm here now, and next week I'm hoping to start doing, or from this week I'm hoping to start doing a weekly podcast again, because that is what I love to do, and it's so much easier to do it weekly, and I feel like I'm more not into it. I'm more now that it's been if it goes more than 1 week, I feel a little bit out of practice when I podcast. So I love doing weekly podcasts, but it's not always that easy. So that's why I haven't been here. But I'm so glad I'm here now, and I am really glad that I've really appreciated all the messages I've gotten from people that miss me. It makes me so happy. So today I am not in my craft room, which I normally am. I'm in my living room again. I'm in the couch, and you can see my sock and blanket here, which I'm not going to talk to. I'm not going to talk about that today because I have so much stuff to show you. But hopefully I will do that next week. I have set up a big lamp on the side here, so I'm hoping that the lighting will be okay. I know that it's not ideal, but it's winter, it's dark. It's not winter, it's fall, but it's winter, though Northern Norway. So it's Wednesday the 5th of October, and it's 8 at night, 8 p.m. Yeah, 8 p.m. now. And yeah, so here I am. Next week, what I was going to say, I totally lost my train of thought there. Next week I'm going away Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for work. And then I will be home for 1 week, the next week after that, and then I will be gone again. So every other week for a little while now I will not be home on Wednesdays. So I'm thinking I will do this a Thursday podcast, because it just makes it so much easier for me. And maybe it depends on how I work, because I normally have work to do on Thursday, like the normal everyday work. Not yarn dyeing, but I work in merchandising in grocery stores. So it might be late Thursday that I do it in the afternoon or in the evening after my kid is asleep, which is now. So that was 5 minutes. This is probably going to be a long one. If you don't like that, I'm so sorry. You just turn off whenever you want. That's the beauty of YouTube. You can just turn me off when you get sick of me. So, to the administration stuff, we have a Knitalong going on in the group, the September call. It is running until next Wednesday, which is the 13th. I think I've said the 12th. But since I am away, I will close that when I get home on Wednesday evening, so it will be somewhere around midnight Norwegian time. So it's the September call. It has been a blast. It's so much fun. It's been a lot of chatter in the chatter chat in the group, which I really enjoy. And there are so many shawls and there's so much inspiration. My queue in Ravelry has grown very much. There are so many shawls that I want to knit. And I have no idea how I am going to get time to do that. But I have... there's also been lots of finished objects in the thread, which I am going to take some of the finished objects photos. In the very end of this episode, I'm going to make a little like collage, you know, picture by picture by pictures and some music. So you can see some of them here as well. But I really advise you to go over to the group to see all of those shawls. So we have some prizes, finally. I have had them for a while, but you know, I haven't been podcasting for a while. So Nanja, which is Nanja H on Ravelry, she is from the Netherlands. I have been chatting with her in the group and I think on Ravelry as well. No, not on Ravelry, on Instagram as well, for quite a while. She won a prize from Knitalong, I think. It might have been just a giveaway a while ago, and she has been really active and I really appreciate talking to her. And she is knitting, I think, is it the Exploration Station? The one that Bolenwine and Jarngassen and Adair's Notebook, they have a Knitalong for that shawl by Steven West. And she has been knitting that, and she said that she would donate a prize for this Knitalong, which will be a Steven West pattern of your choice. I have never knitted any of Steven West pattern. I was planning on joining the Knitalong this year, but I don't have the time to do that. Or I have just been so inspired that I know that I can't start a mystery Knitalong because I won't. But Nanya H has generously said that she will give away a Steven West shawl or Steven West pattern to one of the winners. So thank you so much, Nanya. That is a really awesome prize. Steven West has so many cool designs. I really want to try out some of his designs. And also Swipser on Ravelry. I think she's Swipser on Instagram as well. I'm not completely sure, but I think so. She has sent me a message saying that she will donate a pattern gift as well, which will be mittens designed by her, which is the Wrong Side Love mittens. And I hadn't really noticed these mittens before. I don't think I've seen it before she sent me the link saying that she would donate one of her patterns. And they are so nice. I'm going to insert a picture here, of course, but they are really nice, and I think they would be wonderful for gift knitting. I'm planning on making some of those myself for... I know I said it would be wonderful for gift knitting. I'm planning on making them for myself. I'm a little bit in that selfish mode at the moment. Of course, I have also bought a yarn prize, which is of course Norwegian yarn. Last week when I was in Tromsø, I went into one of the yarn stores there, which is Bunningen. If you are Norwegian, you can go into bunningen.no. I don't think there's a web store, but it's a really lovely yarn store. Yeah, she started it, the owner of the yarn store started it 5 years ago maybe, and it was a little tiny yarn store in Jekta, which is a shopping mall. And she was the owner of this yarn store. She is such a nice lady, and it's soon become my favorite yarn store. I had just started knitting at the time, so this wasn't 5 years ago, it's more like 6-7 years ago. And I had been to several yarn stores in Tromsø, but then I went to Bunningen and I said that I wanted to try to knit a sweater for the first time. And she helped me find a pattern, and I knitted it in, I remember it was Citrops or Sandnes Alpha. Anyway, it's I think it's Sandnes. Anyway, it's a commercial yarn, and I knitted it in this old pink color. It's a quite heavy yarn, and I think it was 5 or 6 millimeter needles, so it's quite heavy needles, which was great for knitting my first sweater, and it was quite long, and it had a cable up. I don't think I have it. I will have to see if I have it, and then I can show you my first sweater. But it had a cable up the front and a big, like the ribbing thing was quite big, and it had long arms. It's a perfect winter sweater. But the yarn is quite itchy, so the big neckline on that sweater it itched a little bit too much, even for me that is used to story yarn. Anyway, I went in there. It was the first time I asked for help to yarn to make my first garment, and she helped me a lot. She was really helpful and nice, and I really loved having her as my local yarn store woman. And then I knitted the sweater, and it was my first garment, so it wasn't done in 2 days. It took a while. And back then I was a monogamous knitter, so I wasn't back there for several weeks. I remember I had only been there once. And the next time I got in there, I remember I had hair about this long, and it was like fire red the first time I was in there. And I cut it like really boyish short, and I bleached it so it was white almost. And I went into the store, and the first thing she said to me was, "Oh, how did it go? Is the sweater done?" And I was like, "You remember me, even though I don't look the same." My boss didn't recognize me, but the woman that I had only met once in the yarn store a month ago recognized me. So she was a delight to have as local yarn store woman. And now I'm out on a bobbling thingy. The yarn, that is a prize. I was in there this week. It has been it's become a pretty large yarn store now, and they have one more. She owns 2 stores now. One is in the city and one is in Jekta, which is a shopping mall outside of the centrum. She wasn't there, but there was someone else, and I decided that I wanted to give these 2 as a prize. It is a rusty orange. It is a little bit hard because, as I said, the lighting, and I can't say rusty blue, but it is a rusty blue, even though I don't think you can describe a blue as rusty. But they look really nice together. I had my eyes on these 2 colors, and I asked the woman that was working there, because they had lots of colors, and I was like, "Could you please help me find 2 colors that goes well together?" And I was hoping that she would choose this with one or this with one, and then she picked these 2 together, and it made me really happy. So this is, I think it's a worsted weight. It's Norwegian wool. It's not superwash. It is 100 grams and 114 meters. The gauge is given on 6 millimeter needles to be 14 stitches and 22 rows. There's the information. So this will be our price for the short cambrical, and also I will be giving away the pattern for my new diamonds and pearls shawl that I will talk about in the finished object segment. I have a few questions for you, and this is going to be a long intro. I'm a little bit sorry about that, but not really. So, as many of you know, I don't have it here. I will put in a picture of my logo here. I have started dyeing yarn, and I have just been selling it under the name Emilia's Arctic Yarns, which I'm not completely sure I love. I have a logo that I have used for my company before, which is my company name the legal name in Norway is Emilie Bjørnå Design. I used to do some sewing and making hair bows, and I have just used that logo. But now I have made an agreement with the woman who made that logo to make another one for me. I'm so happy that she's willing to work with me, because she's really awesome. But I'm not sure what I will do name-wise for the yarn brand. I was thinking that I should just call it Arctic Yarns. Because I really want to do something that goes with this podcast, the whole Arctic theme. I'm really proud of living in the Arctics, and I was thinking like polar something, Arctic something, polar bears, reindeer, anything like that. So if you have any suggestions for names for my yarn company, please let me know. Or if you have any opinions on Emilie's Arctic Yarn or Arctic Yarns or Arctic Dye Works, or if you have any opinions, let me know. It would be so much appreciated. You could just put that in the episode thread for this podcast, which will be on the Ravelry-group, which is linked down below as always. And I will choose one that gives me their opinion on this to get a skein from my hand-dyed yarn. So I really hope that someone will let me know what they think, because I've been thinking that I should talk this over with someone who also is a knitter and also is maybe a dyer, but not necessarily that knows about this stuff. But then I thought, it doesn't really matter, because the customers is the one that I want to make happy. And yeah, I just really want to know what people thinks about, because this time it's going to be final. I'm going to choose a name and I'm going to make a logo, and this one is it. I'm not going to change it anymore, because it's bad for branding, and also it's a little bit pricey to get a logo custom made from someone that is as good as this lady is. So if you have any opinions on Arctic Yarns, the name, let me know. Last question. Halloween is coming up. My friend, who is Ludvig's grandmother, is going to have a party, and she and her boyfriend and me and Ludvig's father is going together, of course. And we were thinking, because everyone else is doing like princess, hooker, I don't know what it's like everywhere else, but in Norway the girls tend to dress up pretty. And it's like Elsa and Anna and Olaf, the couples goes up as Olaf and Anna, or Prince and blah blah blah, So we were thinking that we really want to go, because we have 4 people, so we really want to go as the Teletubbies. How awesome would that be? And we're thinking to sew the costumes and make the thing in the front with like clear plastic thing. I have some upstairs that is meant for sewing, and make like a pocket in the front with some thing around the neck to keep it up, and we could put the iPads in there and we could actually show movies. Just because if you're going to do it properly. But we don't know how to make the Teletubbies costumes, so if anyone has any advice, I know there's many people out there who does cosplay, who has made more. I haven't really made any garments for myself, who has done more sewing than me. Please let me know if you have any ideas or suggestions for how to make a really cool Teletubby costume. So that's it. Now I'm going to move on to knitting in just a little while. I just want to mention another podcaster, because I know many of you likes to listen to me talk about living in Norway, and there is a new Norwegian podcaster whose name I don't remember. No, I don't. I'm sorry. For me, she's Nordic Stitches. I don't remember her real name. I'm pretty sure she wasn't raised under the name Nordic Stitches. But that's who she is now. So Nordic Stitches, she lives in Trøndelag, which is in the middle of Norway. It's about 800 kilometers south of me. She tends to put in a little film in the end, because she's much more of a hiker than I am. She likes to walk in the mountains or woods, and she takes pictures and little films in the end. And she has also had which I'm thinking of maybe copying. I'm sorry, I haven't told you this. I've been thinking, she has a segment every week where she talks about like retro patterns, because she inherited her grandma's knitting patterns and she has been going through them. Lately it's been the ones from the 80s, but I think she has more. And it's such a blast to see these old knitting patterns. And I also inherited my grandma's knitting pattern, and they go back to the 50s. So I was thinking that maybe I should do a segment talking a little, maybe not a whole magazine every week, because I tend to talk a lot and it's already been 20 minutes, you know, so. But maybe one pattern, I will show you one pattern every week, maybe. She does that, she was my inspiration for even thinking that thought. I've never thought about that before, so she doing it. And she is a designer, and she is a blast to look at, or to watch. She is such a happy person, she laughs a lot, and yeah, she's just really fun to watch, and you should definitely check out Nordic Stitches. I will link her as well in the show notes. So yeah, I'm going to move on to finished objects. 20 minutes intro, that should be enough. So my first finished object, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 finished objects, but I only have 2 whips, and I don't have any 3 whips, and I don't have any acquisitions. And I won't do a big. Yeah, I won't talk very much about everything. But this is the first one. I haven't sewn in the ends, and it hasn't been blocked yet. This is the big version of my diamonds and lace shawl. This is my pattern. I'm going to release this the first Sunday, which will be Sunday the 5th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Sunday the 10th of October this will be released. I haven't decided on a price yet. I will have to do a little bit of research. So this is it. This is my yarn. It is a one of a kind, which is I'm Special. And this is the Dearly Beloved, which is part of my Prince colors. And if you are a Prince fan, you will also know that the Diamonds and Pearls is a Prince song, and this is Dearly Beloved, so I thought that would be a pretty match. So this is it. It hasn't been blocked, so I will show you it again next week, and maybe I will talk a little bit more about it. Or I will do a separate video for the pattern release. Yes, first finished object. 2 minutes, that's good. Second finished object, I'm not sure if I showed you this finished before, because I didn't go back to watch the previous episode, but I have messed up the show notes, so I'm not sure if this was finished the last time I saw it. I think it was, but I'm just going to show you it again. I talked about this quite a bit in my last episode. I love this Wickle Rose, and I love the wintry Christmassy theme to it. So this is also my own hand-dyed yarn. I don't remember the color names. It is Bright Summer Morning and Lake Minnetonka. I remembered. Lake Minnetonka is also a Prince color. So this is so awesome. I really love it. The only problem is that it's so pretty that I'm not sure he will ever get to wear it. This is for my 1-year-old, if I didn't say. I haven't put in buttons. I have... Sorry. This is the buttons that I'm going to use. So it's only 3 little buttons on top there. So that is my second finished object. I just have to show you because it's in the same bag. How awesome are these buttons? Yeah, you can't see. It's the lighting. I'm not going to do too much. So this one is really light blue, and there is also a white one, and I bought I think 10 of each, because I thought that this would be really awesome on this. But they are a little bit too big, so I'm just going to save those for another time. So that is my second finished object. My third one is just a really simple stockinette hat. I think you know the sockhead hat. Everyone knows that. I'm not sure if I used it. I looked at it, but that is for fingering weight, and this is a DK weight. But I cast it on 120 stitches maybe, somewhere around that. So this is just a basic hat that I need just to try out this yarn, which is the light. I shouldn't have put it up there, but this is my own hand-dyed. It's a one of a kind, just from experimenting last time. But this is a new base that I am going to introduce next time I dye yarn, which hopefully will be soon. I'm just waiting for a little scale to arrive and then I will do it. But this is a DK weight, it's 100% merino and it is super soft. I have worn this a little bit outside and I really enjoy this hat. It has a little bit of slow strip. So this was really something I did just to test out the yarn. I started with trying to make a pattern and doing some cables, but then it didn't turn out good, and then I was watching TV and I just knit a stockinette hat, as you do. So this is, it's 120 stitches and probably 10 rows of 2x2 ribbing, and this far of just enough of stockinette stitch, and then I decreased every row. I first knit 10 2 together, and then the next row I 9 2 together. Well, I'm pretty. So that was my third finished object. I knit this on 4mm needles. I don't think I said that, but I really enjoy it and I like wearing it. I'm not sure if it's my colors, but the yarn it's really soft. I can't wait to dye more of this. And also this is more, DK weight is more used in Norwegian fingering weight. You can hardly find fingering weight in like the Norwegian commercial yarn, because we tend to wear thicker garments as we live in the Arctics, it's cold as here. So this will be more suitable for the Norwegian market as well. And yeah. I also have knitted, I showed this on Instagram last, because my boy is going to kindergarten and he almost have no socks. So this is a pair of DK weight socks that I knit. I knit him a sweater and some pants a little bit back. Which you can see, it's I use self-stepping yarn, it's really awesome. You can see it in my Ravelry project page. And I used a contrasting color for the cuff and cuff. And this was the color that I used for contrasting. It's a really nice ochre yellow, which is one of my favorite colors these days. I'm actually thinking about painting my kitchen ochre in an ochre colorway. So this is just tiny socks. It fits him. I think it's about IEU20. They are 12 centimeters. So I whipped this up last night just because his feet were cold when he came from the kindergarten. And I have a little bit of mistake here. But they are kindergarten socks from my kid and I haven't realized that before now, so now it's too late. I did do, because I suddenly realized that the first one that I had knitted a little bit more than I should on the foot, because it just goes so fast on 4mm needle. Yeah, it's 36 stitches, 4mm needles in DK weight, so it went pretty fast, and suddenly it was a little bit longer than it should be. So I increased the toe is pretty short. I increased pretty much, and it is a little bit, yeah, you see, wobbly. But it's okay, it doesn't show when it's on his feet. And they are kindergarten socks, they are to be used, not to be pretty. They will most of the time be inside of shoes or boots. So that is the small socks. Also, I finished my opal socks. Finally finished this. I think I've been knitting on this for like, I don't know, 6 weeks maybe. It took forever. I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood for knitting on this. But I finished this. These are basic 2.5mm needles, 56 stitches. Fish lips seal, star toe. Still, there's a little, you know, those takes forever. It takes forever to sew in the ends. I will have to do that after Christmas probably. But these are it. I don't remember the colorway name. I don't have it here. I finished this quite a while ago. And yeah, I will put it in. No, I don't think I will, because I think this is the ones that I don't have the tag for. So I don't know what color it is. but they are good for basic socks. They are a little bit too, maybe it's 60 stitches, they look a little bit big, maybe it's 60 stitches. 56 is my normal go-to, but every now and then I do 60 stitches. So that's my, not my last finished object, but no, I did you see that? I did 5 finished objects in 10 minutes. Now I feel like I'm rushing, and I shouldn't be doing this so fast. But you know, that's just how it goes. I have 2 more finished objects. The first one is a hat. The second one is also a hat, but the first one is... So this is my hat. It hasn't been... I don't tend to block my hats, I just soak them and leave them flat to dry. And this hasn't been dried. I hope you can see it. It is a mock cable pattern. There isn't any cabling going on here, it's just increasing and decreasing. And this is my own pattern. And this is almost written up. I have the chart ready to go, I have the pattern written, I just have to like properly write it in, yeah, on the computer, because I don't think you could release a pattern on post-its. But I will need test knitters for this, and I will probably, I think I will just take 2. I'll take 3. I'll take 3 test knitters on this, because I don't want to do too many, and I think this pattern is, it's a simple knit. So I will take 2 test knitters. 3. I will take 3 test knitters, so if you are interested in test knitting this, let me know. I will send out the pattern before I go away on Monday, so probably it will come to you, I don't go on Sunday, so it will come to you by Sunday, and you will have 2 weeks to finish it, and then I will release it. The yarn, it's knit on 4mm needles, and the yarn I've used for this, that's not yarn, is Manos del Uruguay Silk Blend. I'm not completely sure, I haven't weighed it yet, but I think I've used about half the scale. 50 grams might be enough, and it might be a little bit short. So, I should have weighed this before I asked for test knitters. Anyway, this is the Manos del Uruguay Silk Blend. It is 30% silk and 70% extra fine wool kettle dyed merino. The colorway is 2220 and it is 300 yards or 260 meters on 100 grams. And it's meant for needles 3.5 to 4 point. That's the tag. As many of you know, I'm going to read this. I bet many of you know, but I think this is so awesome. Manos del Uruguay is a non-profit organization which assembles over 400 artisans in cooperatives scattered throughout the countryside of Uruguay. The aim of the organization is to bring economic and social opportunities to rural women. Manos Silk Blend is a luxurious blend of merino and silk, hand-dyed in large kettles to create a marbleized, subtly striated, haven't heard that word before, effect that forms in a rich palette of gorgeous colors. No 2 skeins are exactly alike, and there are no dye lots. We recommend buying enough yarn to complete the project. If there is a great difference between skein, we recommend knitting 2 rows from one skein and 2 rows from another skein to give the overall blend. Yeah, you know, alternating skeins. It's really awesome yarn, it's really soft. I have another skein, so I'm thinking that I might see if I have enough to do a shawl or a cowl or something in the same, with the same stitch pattern to match. And I can be all matching. So, 3 test knitters, send me a PM on Ravelry if you're interested. And I will send me a PM, let me know what yarn you will use and your email address, and I will choose 3, and I will probably choose the 3 that sends me the message first. So yeah, But I'm not one of those that when I ask for test knitters, I don't get like hundreds of messages. So even though this episode has been up for a couple of days or a week, it's not sure that I have 3 test knitters. So if you're interested, let me know. Shoot me a message on Ravelry, let me know what yarn you will use and your email address, so it will be easier for me to send you the pattern when it's ready, so I don't have to ask for email addresses since I'm going away next week. So that is my third finished object. I really love it. I'm not sure if you test knit this. I think I've used 4 repeats of the pattern. If you test knit this and you want to make it a little bit slouchier, you are welcome to make 5 repeats on the pattern. So it's a little more slouch in it. So that is my own pattern, and I really hope I will get some test knitters for this, because I really love this. I love the colors. I love knitting it. It was really fun to knit, and even though it looks a little bit intricate, it's not. I knit this while watching TV, because I have been watching TV instead of podcasts lately. My last finished object is also a hat design, but this I'm not calling it a test knitters for this yet, because I want to do another sample myself, because I am not sure if I'm happy with the crown decrease. And also I am planning on doing a few changes to the pattern. You know, one more of those. This one has no ends because I've already used it. Because I tend to wear to sew in the ends when I use it. But this is my last finished object, and this is knit in Dale baby wool, which is a Norwegian fingering weight. It's baby wool. It's not 400 meters and 100 grams. I think it's like 350. But this is the pattern. I hope you can see it. Yeah, it looks like you can see it. So you can see I'm going to turn. Maybe you can see the decrease. I'm not very happy about the decrease, so I think it's a little bit too gathered on the top. So I think I will redo the decrease on the other hat. I will do it a little bit different. But this is a stranded hat in quite thin yarn. The pattern for this is inspired. Many of you have seen and commented on my blue kofte or cardigan, which my grandma made, that I got when she passed away. It's 2 years ago in January. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but yeah. She knitted for herself. She never used patterns when she knitted, or she did in the beginning, but then she memorized all these charts, and she made these really pretty. I'm going to insert a picture if I can find one. Really pretty cardigan for herself that I got, and it is several different shots in it, and I'm thinking that this is the first of a series of hat patterns, and there might be more. There might be socks or cowls or not shawls, because it's stranded. I don't like doing stranded shawls, or mittens, or I don't know. I'm going to make a series of pattern that is based on the charts that she used in this garment. So this is the first one of those. I have one of those wickel rows. I think you can see it. It's basically one row that goes this way. It's a really neat technique, and I find it really funny, and it looks so pretty, and it makes such a difference in the finishing of a garment, or in this case, a hat. In the finished pattern, this one is going to be in the contrasting color, if the white is the contrasting. On this one it will be in white. I haven't started the other one of these, and the reason for that is that I want to do it in my own yarn, and I don't have very much yarn at the moment. So this one, I will be calling out to test knitters for this eventually. I just need to do some more work on it before I do that. So 40 minutes, and I have done my finished objects. Yes, I have, as I said, 3 works in progress. 2 of them are socks. I'm going to show you those first. The first one is Aran weight or worsted weight, I'm not sure. It's Novita Finnish 7 brothers. This is Syv brødre in Norwegian, 7 brothers. Or this is Syv brødre in Swedish. Anyway, sock yarn. It is probably 150 grams, 300 meters, 75% wool and 25% polyamide. And I'm using 4mm needles. And this is a self-striping yarn. As many of you have seen, I bought some yarns from Jinx. It has the podcast A Diary's Notebook. She has so many pretty yarns, and I bought some self-striping from her. And I decided that I want to do those self-striping using a contrasting color or afterthought heel. So I decided I would try this on another yarn first, because this is a commercial yarn, so it's not that horrible if it doesn't turn out really pretty. So these are a little bit big, you can see from my blocker. But I have done the afterthought heel. I think I found a tutorial on Knitty, because I really want to try the smooth operator socks. I don't remember who wrote it. I've heard so much about it, I don't remember who wrote that. It's Susan B. Anderson. Yeah, you can see I have a little bit of a hole in the side, and I also have the same on the other side. I would just, when I sew in the ends, I would just knit that up. So I have just started the second sock, and as you can see, they will be matching. As I said, I really want to try the smooth operated pattern, because so many people have told me that that is awesome, and it is such a neat pattern, and it makes a world of difference when doing afterthoughts heel. But I have this rule for myself that I don't buy patterns if I don't have money in my PayPal account, and I don't. So for now, I'm not buying any patterns until I have more money in my PayPal account, which I get from selling my patterns. I think there's a little bit there now, but it's not like a huge amount. My next work in progress is the gravel socks. I know many of you probably remember me saying that I would do all 8 socks from Mina Phillips for her. Mina Phillips, what's it called? Beyond Vanilla sock. And I said that I would do all 8 of them, and this is in a bag that she made me. When I think we did a swap a while back. And I am using Socks That Rock Blue Moon fibers. It's here. Socks That Rock Blue Moon fibers. Colorway is Haystack. Yes, that's correct. This is the yarn. I use 2.5mm needles. Anyway, I said that I will do all 8 patterns. I just try to avoid talking about this. I said that I would do all 8 patterns for her Knitalong. I did 2. 2 of them were done, because this is the gravel socks. And before I said it, let me say there's nothing wrong with the pattern. The other 2 I have, which is the number 1 and number 2. This is number 3. I don't remember. Pebbles and cobblestones. I have done 2 pebbles and 2 cobblestones. And I really love those. There's nothing wrong with the pattern. It's just that this stitch pattern, while it looks pretty, it wasn't suitable for me to knit. Again, there's nothing wrong with the pattern. It just wasn't my cup of tea, so to say. So this has been hibernating for a while, and then I picked them back up last night, and it actually was a little bit better to knit. I finished the first one. See. I didn't use her heel, I used a fish lipstick heel just because that makes it easier. And I think this toe is about the same that is in the pattern, but it's just my toe. I really love how they on it up. I love how the sock looks. And yesterday when I picked the second sock back up, it was a little bit more fun to knit. But it just stopped on this. I don't know why. I wasn't in the state of mind for doing this kind of stitch pattern at the moment. I am going to continue to work on those. This one is, when this one is finished, I'm going to cast number 4 and then 5 and then 6 and then 7 and then 8. I'm going to do all of them. Even though it's not finished for the Knitalong, that's okay. I'm going to do all of them. There were so many people in the Knitalong anyway, and yeah. While I love taking parts of in Knitalongs, I don't really have the time to keep up with all the chatter thread, and I'm one of those person that I can't just jump in and jump out. I really like to know. I like to read all of the posts and know everything that's going on, and I don't have the time to do that. So I tend to think that I'm going to participate in Knitalongs, and I don't. And the main reason, this is selfish me. The main reason I participate in Knitalongs is because I want to win prizes. I want to try all those awesome yarns. Anyway, I finished 2 of those patterns. I didn't win a prize because I forgot to enter them. So, yeah, I'm a horrible Knitalonger. But these are going to be pretty when they're done, and I can't wait to cast on the next one. And I think that is the driftwood, which I really look forward to trying. I'm a little bit regretful that I didn't just let this be and put this on, sent this on vacation and tried to do the next one. But they will be done. And I'm really looking forward to the next one because I have knit 3 of those patterns. 2 of them has been really great to work on. This one, it's okay. It wasn't great, but I think most of the patterns will be great. So I'm going to continue trying. I'm going to do number 4. And I'm going to do all of them. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the podcast, but actually when the Knitalong started, I went out and I bought like all the yarn. I bought 8 colors of the rainbow because I was going to do all these socks in the colors of the rainbow for Knitalong. I haven't even started. Knitalong was over 2 days ago. So yeah, I'm going to make rainbow socks. Also, the last work in progress is knitting Charisma. It's a drops yarn. You all probably know it. It's a little bit more winey red than this looks pink, but it's actually quite red. So this is drops yarn, which is a DK weight, and it's 109 yards or 100 meters on 50 grams. It's a commercial yarn, which I really liked. It held up quite good. I have several garments in this. So I printed the pattern for this. Because there are lots of charts. So I printed the pattern just to make it easier to follow, because normally I just use my phone or the iPad or the MacBook to watch patterns. But I couldn't do that. I just couldn't keep up, so I printed it. So I have, let's see. This is how far I've gotten. It's quite hard to see. But you can see I have the back piece. I have them on the same needles. I have the back piece to here finished. And I've started the front. So the front is where all the cables are going to be. You can see I started a little bit. I really loved this construction. I've been knitting for 7 years, and in the beginning, sorry, I have to drink some Pepsi. In the beginning, I was always choosing patterns from what had new techniques, because I really love trying new techniques. Now I don't, because I have tried very many techniques. I have tried brioche, and I don't really want to try it either. I don't get it. I I might have to try just to find out what the fuss is about, but it's not something that calls to me. But this one, what you do is you cast on the top. I'm just going to talk a little bit. I'm not going to give anything away. You cast on this side, and then you knit the back piece, and then you cast on this side and knit a little bit of the back piece about this far, and then you join the two back shoulder things together and knit this part, which is actually the actual back piece. And it has a little bit of increases, and I think it will be a really nice fit, and I can't wait to finish this. I can't wait to finish this. Not because it's not fun to knit, because I know it's fun to knit. I have knit a little bit on it, and I just started the cables, and I love knitting cables. But because I am going to wear this, as you can see, it's a little bit shorter, so it will be on my waistline, and I'm going to wear this with like skater skirts and dresses, and I really need this. I really need this in my life. So I've just started. I don't think I've done any cables. No, I just started the front piece, and I'm going to knit until that's as long as the back piece, and they will be joined together. So it's a really interesting construction, and if you are up to a pattern that requires a little bit of concentration, you definitely should try this. And if you don't like this one, or if you don't like cables, or anyway, no, you should go check out Andy Sattelon's patterns. She has a blog called Untangling Knots, which is really awesome. I've been following her for years. I've never knitted any of her garments, but they are, I know Katie of Inside Number 23 has knit this, and she said that, and she said it in a way that I have never thought about it before. Andy Sattelon makes patterns that are really feminine and pretty, even though they are made in quite heavy yarn, because many of them are DK and worsted with yarn. I thought I heard so, I didn't. So you should definitely check out her patterns. I know that I'm going to make more of them. She has a few cardigans that I really love. So that's it for the knitting, and I'm under 1 hour. I thought this would be like a 1.5 hour episode. I always think that when I haven't been podcasting in a while, but I don't think, I think I stressed through it so it goes faster. I'm just going to find, because I had a questions and suggestions, because there is a questions and suggestions thread in the Ravelry-group. So if you have anything, if it's knitting related or related to, it's about me or about living in the Arctics or bits and bobs, just let me know. Just ask away there, and I will answer it on the podcast, or if it is something that requires a fast answer, I will answer it in the thread. I'm just going to, because I had a question there. That's it. The question is from Pretty Little Fleur, which I'm putting down there. She has also a podcast called Kick Up Knits. She is from London, I think. She's from England, at least. I think she's from London, but she lives in Oslo, and she also is much better than me in putting in like videos from Norway in the end of every episode. But she asked me a question, and the question is, Emilie, a question about Nordic living. Now that Ludvig, which is my 1-year-old, has started barnehage, which is kindergarten, will he start learning cross-country skiing, either there or with you and your boyfriend? Also, what kind of winter preparation do you have to do in terms of household goods, food, but also firewood and whatever? I know you live near a big city, so it's not much of a problem for you, but I was thinking especially for those people in the surrounding villages. So, starting with the cross-country skiing, Ludvig will learn that. I'm not sure how, but he will, because everyone does. I'm not much of a skier, but my boyfriend liked to ski when he was a kid. I would probably take him, and I would probably go as well, because we have these Easter trips when we go in the mountain cabins in the Easter, and we stay there, and then we go skiing, and then we eat oranges. We ski and eat oranges and quick lunch, which is basically a Kit Kat chocolate. I don't think they do much skiing when they are this, because he's only 1 year old, he can't walk. But I don't think the first couple of years, until he's 3 or 4, I don't think they do much skiing in the kindergarten. But they will probably do it when he is a little bit bigger. I don't remember back to when I was in kindergarten, which anyway is so long ago that it's probably not the same now. But when I was in school, we had in like preschool, but when we are between 7 and 12, we have like one outdoors day a week, or at least it was then. It was Tuesday in my school. And in summer we go to the sea, we collect shells, we learn about it outside. It's not like we just go out to play, we learn about what we are actually seeing. We have some outdoor swimming actually in the summer times. It's more, the science class in preschool where we learn about nature. We go out, we collect leaves. We learn about different kinds of shells. We learn about animals. We talk about like survival in the forest. All of those kinds of things. When we do this in the winter, we of course go skiing. I'm not sure if it is actually a whole day. It might be just half a day or 3 or 4 hours or something. 2 times a year, one before, because the school here starts in August and goes until June. And 2 times a year, one before Christmas and one after, we have these big skiing trips, which we call turdag, which is basically, ski days. Now I'm not sure if both of them are skiing actually. But 2 times a year we go the whole school together. In my school where I grew up, which is a little village outside of the city, because we have 3 different schools, which is 1st until 5th grade, 1st until 4th grade, which I think is like 6 to 10, and then 10 until 13 is the middle school, and then we have like the big school. Not high school, but I can't really translate that school system. But when we are from 13 until 16. In my village, all of those are together in one building. In most cities, they are 6 until 13, and then they switch building and switch classes and go into the school where they are from. They are from 8 to 10 grade, where they are from. They are 13 to 16. But 2 times a year we go together, the whole school, from 6 years old until 16 years old. We go together on one trip. There are different lengths, so the younger kids stops before the older kids do. And we usually went to some mountain top. And normally it was like 2 or 3 hour ski trip. And then we was out for a total of 6 to 8 hours. And 2 to 3 hours skiing each way, and then on the top of the mountains we made a big bonfire. We barbecued sausages and ate chocolate and throw snowballs on each other and was just playing in the snow. On many of these trips, because they didn't want to put pressure on everyone to go skiing onto the top of the mountain, which was good for me because I just kept falling over. So I don't think I ever went the whole trip. I think I stopped like halfway. Me and my friends, we stopped halfway every time, and we had lots of candy. And no teachers, because they went the whole trip. So we could just eat, which is kind of my favorite activity besides eating. So yeah, Ludwig will learn to ski. If he hasn't already, by the time he starts school, he will definitely learn it in school. The other part of the question is preparation for Christmas. First of all, I have to say that I don't live in a big city. I live in a village with about 10,000 people. I grew up in a village with about 2,000 people, which is 30 kilometers away from here, so it's not very long. Winter preparations. You mentioned firewood. I'm going to start with that one. Most people here, I think in the bigger cities, people buy woods from like farmers or sellers that owns land. We don't, and I don't think very many people do. I know my parents probably do. But my boyfriend's grandfather owns land a little bit outside of the city, so we get woods from him, or firewood. We also get a Christmas tree from that land. I don't know how much we normally buy, but it is about 20,000 liters. No, 2,000 liters. 2,000 liters of firewood. We can go back to get more whenever we want, but we don't. Most people have it around them or someone that has land. And if you don't live, because I live in a village, you can't just go out and chop woods wherever you want. But if you don't live like I do, I actually have a neighbor on the other side of the wall. I don't live in a house I live in a house, but I share the house with neighbors. There is a duplicate, I think it's called. It's only 2 apartments. We have our own yards and stuff, but we live in a neighborhood with lots of people. We live in a neighborhood. Not everyone lives in a neighborhood. Somewhere there is like a kilometer or 2 to the nearest neighbor. It's not like that here. We can get firewoods whenever we want. If we don't know one week to someone who sells it, we could just buy it from the store. When you live outside of the big cities, there is less of a problem because you have the firewoods all around you, because there is wood everywhere. As for household goods and foods, we don't tend to do much preparation. I know in Lofoten, which is a group of islands, people probably do more preparations than we do, because there are grocery stores everywhere. But most places has grocery stores. I was in Stamsund a while back ago. I don't know if you remember. I showed pictures from there, which is in Lofoten, and it's a tiny place. I think it'd be a couple of hundred people there. They have 2 stores. And normally when we have the winter time isn't that bad in Lofoten at least. The worst is the fall storms or autumn storms. But they then don't tend to last for very long. It's not like the stores run out of food. But I will think that people that live in places that has more extreme weather than I have stock up a little bit of food. Maybe have some like soups or something in the house just to be sure, because it's not always safe to go outside if the storm is very bad. On the other side, we are used to it. I have to drink a little bit. The last couple of years we have had really bad storms here, like trees falling over and roads getting blocked by things that is flying around. And actually last year, 2 years ago, we have this big public pool, and we have like high school where they go from they are 16 until 19. My brother was a student there, and we have like that here, and on the side of that there is a public pool. And my brother was 17 at the time, and he got a message because he lives with my parent, which is a 40-minute drive, so he has to take the bus to go to school. And they got a message that all the students that were to take buses had to walk down to the center of the city, which is, it's not long, it's 400 meters, 500 meters maybe. But they had to walk because the roof of the pool was flying. It was flying around. So the bus couldn't drive to the school because it was too dangerous and the bus might be ruined. So the students had to walk to the bus instead. I don't understand that logic, but anyway. Also, if you watch on the news in Norway, I really enjoy watching the storms in Lofoten, because there's always some fishermen that they are really used to these kind of storms, and they stand there like this, and they have their legs far apart, like they're on a boat, just to keep standing in the wind. And they say something like, yeah, it's a little bit windy, but it was worse in 1985. And then you see like a building flying in the background, or a boat flying or something, and they just like, yeah, it was worse in 1995. So I think that the people that live like that are quite used to it. Many people that lives in the worst places come from families of fishermen and farmers, and are families that still lives from fishing or farming, and they can't just block themselves indoors even though it's extreme weather. That being said, we don't have like hurricanes or earthquakes, or we have extreme cold. It's can be like minus 40 degrees, I think, in the coldest places, but it's a different kind of cold in the country than it is by the sea, and it don't get 40 minus by the sea. Then we would probably need more firewood, at least. So I don't think people do much preparation, really. We wash our cars, because you should wash your car before the winter arrives. And we take in all the outdoors furniture, and yeah, I think that's about it. Where I live, it tends to be a little bit windy, or very much windy. So we have this like place under our, because the door into our house it's not on the second floor, it's on the first floor, but the basement is above the ground. So we have a little bit of a stair to get inside, and under the hall of our house is an outside storage area, and we just put garbage cans and stuff like that under there just to keep it from flying. But other than that, I don't think we do much preparation, really. We might do it, might just be me being too used to it. But I don't think, we change the tires of our cars, of course. I have to do that before Sunday, because we use winter tires to drive on, like snow and ice, because it's not much fun to drive on snow and ice when it's on summer tires, because you don't drive, you just slide around. It's a little bit fun, but you shouldn't do that out in the real traffic. You should do that on so anyway, I'm going to finish that segment now. If you have any questions about Arctic living, please let me know. I will try to answer them. I will not talk much about, I talked a little bit in the beginning. We've just been sick. And I've been to Tromsø, and I talked about that in the beginning, and I think this episode is long enough, so I'm just going to say bye here, and I hope to see you next week. And I know that many people like hearing about Arctic living, and I'm not very good at talking about it. It's not because I don't want to, it's just because I don't know what to talk about, because I don't know what is different about living in the Arctic. So if you have any specific questions or general questions, let me know, and I will be really happy to talk about Arctic living. So now I'm going to say bye. It is over 9. I'm going to edit this podcast, and hopefully it will be out before I go to bed. And I will talk to you again next week. Thank you so much for checking in. Bye.